Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well. Sika Antonio here, coming to you live from sunny Calgary. I hope that you guys are fine. We've been having these conversations over the last couple of days, or shall I say about a week now, about, partners and abuse and all of those kind of things. And, we've kind of focused a lot more of our attentions on domestic abuse and physical abuse and sexual abuse and all of that stuff. But I wonder whether we've actually paid attention to another kind of abuse, which is very subtle. And some of you may not like the word abuse being used for this kind of thing, but for me, thinking about it, if somebody is taking advantage of you, your personality, the person that you are, the fact that you're loving, you're supportive, you're kind, you have an open mind to things. If somebody of the opposite sex that you're with is taking advantage of your very nature, that can also, to me, be a form of abuse. A lot of us men and women, but sometimes especially women, don't seem to really catch on to these things until it's very, very late in the day. I speak as somebody who's been through this kind of abuse myself without even realizing that that was what was happening. It had to take me taking a step back and coming out of the relationship and actually looking in to realize that that was what was happening. And the reason why I'm talking about this thing or recording this video today is because I had a very heart-to-heart conversation with one of my good friends, one of my good girlfriends. And the both of us, through that conversation, realized that, yes, we've both been through some kind of that sort of thing. And if we have gone through those things, then definitely there are other women that are also facing that thing without even realizing it. So when I talk about supportive partners, what am I talking about here? And by the way, welcome all of you ladies and gentlemen to the show. Nobody has said anything yet, so I can't really see who's commenting or who's here. I know some of you like to just hide behind and listen to what this crazy girl has got to say, but I just want to welcome you and acknowledge your presence. Thank you so much for having faith in me and for listening to whatever it is that I have to say. I hope that you find it beneficial. And I hope that, you take something away from it that's going to help you. I need to keep this presentation to 30 minutes. So let's just see how well I do with this, because as I mentioned before, I've decided to go back to school. It is not easy, guys. This is like my first week of full-time education, and my brain is shaking like this. I haven't been in any formalized education for a very long time. I've just been working. And so having to sit back in a classroom for 6-7 hours of the day, Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it is tough. But I'm determined to do it. If my mom at 53 could do it, me at 40, what excuse do I have? I'm sorry that I digress, but I'm going to go back to what I was talking about. Auntie Ya, I miss you. How are you? My very good sister Aisha is here as always. And Sister Sandra, you are welcome. So what am I talking about? I'm saying that sometimes supporting partners and enabling partners, one person becomes abused, but because it's so subtle, you don't recognize that that is also a form of abuse. What am I talking about? So as a supportive partner, you've met this woman, you've met this guy, you've fallen in love, you're together, married or otherwise, you're together, right? So by together, I mean that you've made commitments to each other, both financially and otherwise. So it's expected that if you're living together and you're renting a house, or you bought a house and you're paying a mortgage, and your partners, then you guys would have sat down and had a conversation about how things are going to be. Who's going to pay the mortgage? Who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to, be responsible for feeding? And different people have different formulas that work for them. I'm not here to prescribe any particular formula for anybody here. But the fact that I'm trying to make is that sometimes, depending on where you are with your life and your mindset, if you're not careful, you would be taken advantage of. And that is the thing that I sat to think about and realize having this conversation with my very good friend Alex overnight. And that is what has really triggered recording this video. Because, like I said, if I am going through this or I have been through this and she has gone through it as well, and we're different cultures and different people, then it means that this is applicable to actually a wider spectrum of women that are being subjected to this kind of thing without even realizing it. Now, before I continue, I don't want anybody to think that I'm suggesting that if you're dating somebody, if you're married to somebody and they're going through a difficult time, don't chip in to help them. That is not what I'm suggesting here. But at the same time, helping does not also mean that when the person is down, because you're helping, they should stay comfortable in their downward position and not strive for success. And this is what I'm trying to the point that I'm trying to make here. And so in this specific situation, this lady started dating this guy, much older guy, about 15 years older. And they had this really lovely relationship, right? The lady was looking for somebody that was affectionate, somebody that cares, somebody that is loving. And the guy, being the older person, provided all of those things to this woman. However, financially, at that particular time of meeting, the guy wasn't really doing too well. The woman being too successful and being able to keep up on top of all her bills and everything, because she's brought up to be an independent person, feels that, oh, it's okay, not all fingers on the hand are the same. He's just going through a tough time. Things will change. It's all right, move in with me. You don't have to worry about money. I know that when you make money, you would do what you're supposed to do or be, an active participant in the relationship in every sense of the word and contribute to the success of the relationship. Now, a lot of people don't like it when we talk about money in relationships because it's like, oh, this is not a very comfortable subject. When you talk about money, it's almost as if you're trying to monetize the relationship, or the mere fact that you want us to be together is what you think that you're going to get out of me. It's why you want to date me. But honey, I'm here to tell you, the bed that you guys are going to sleep on at night, I don't think that you go to the bed shop and go sing a song or dance, and then all of a sudden they hand you over a bed. It costs money to buy a bed. It costs money to buy a mattress. It costs money to sit on a sofa that you guys are going to watch TV on. And these days, I'm beginning to see a trend here where there are guys and women that are taking advantage of people that are already made, already independent. So they're looking out for men and women that have their own house, have their own car, have, a very independent and a self-sufficient, providing for themselves. That is what is attracting a lot of men and women. It's not just women doing the taking these days. These days, there are men who are also seeking after women who have been able to work hard and have all these things, possessions, and are settled and established. And those are the kinds of people that the men of today are looking to date. I heard something very funny the other day, that there are men in Ghana these days who look for women who are from affluent families, because at the end of the day, they date them and eventually are able to marry them. Then, that means that at least at night they'll have somewhere to sleep. They're not thinking about how they can use their 10 fingers to work hard for themselves and be active and participate in a relationship. No, they're looking for people that are already made. In Ghana, we'll say abinwaha. Or the person is already established. Doesn't need a penny from the guy other woman, and this is what is going on. And so, you know, this lady met this guy, as I said, he didn't have anything, but she didn't really care about that. It's okay. It's not about money. I just want to be with you. You make me happy, blah, blah, blah. We women are very good at romanticizing everything. We be near the emotions. It's all about, you know, the lovely pictorial view of how the thing is supposed to be. But at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is that behind all of that romance, behind all that I love you, or you make me feel this and you make me feel that, if there isn't any money that is pumped into that relationship, how does it stand? You know, I don't think that there's anyone who wants to make love to somebody in the winter when there's no energy in the house that is keeping the house warm. I don't think the sex will be the first thing on your mind if you're sleeping in a stone cold house with no electricity, no gas, nothing to keep the house warm and for the house to be lit. And so what point am I making here? The point that I'm making here and the things that I want us as women to open our eyes to see is that, you know, don't be too quick to just run into a relationship just because he makes me feel something that I've never felt before, something that I never dreamt that I would feel before. Because behind all of that is also a life that needs to be lived. If you're a woman, open your eyes. I am not saying don't support, don't help somebody when they're down. But what is the attitude of this person whilst he or she is down? Is he striving for success? Is he looking for new avenues of opportunity? Or is he just getting comfortable because, you know, Auntie Ya has money, Auntie Ya has her own house, Auntie Ya can afford everything, so it's okay. It's all right if I can't work. She doesn't mind. She can pay all the bills, so who cares? If that is the kind of guy that you're dating, be very, very careful. Because what tends to happen is that how the relationship starts. So when you are paying the rent, you are paying the mortgage as the woman, you are paying all the bills, even putting fuel in his very car that he is driving, sister. Those kinds of trends are very difficult to change. So the person just gets to that point where he or she is just very comfortable. And when you're not complaining, you're not asking. So it's okay. You know, you've shown that you can cope without it. So it's okay if he doesn't have it. You're never going to ask. You're self-sufficient. And that to them is good enough. Now, a lot of women don't realize that he's taking advantage of that is what we don't realize. Wono wu kono a woyɛ adwumaden edi sika ne ba fie no wono ne nsa du no sɛ bio kwata na yɛ ne nsa na ahweaseɛ wɔ hɔ. We all have times when things are difficult. I get that. But with the wahweaseɛ bɛyɛ wo dabre dia, then I have a big problem with that. And that is what is going on these days. Particularly, Manua, we've become middle-aged. You know, we think that baby you know, kind of like we have to mellow down or water down our standards because otherwise that's why a bema sebi mfrediasa kwatietia nanim enti anaju bia me kase wonya obetini ayenko adia if I have to be Mrs. Otiakra enyahwe. Are you sure set Tiana Utiano? Ubetimi Tiana debia won't complain? Are you sure? So when nim says idea no nipa na expect sa obeyen, wunni ho a year ubetimi ya sister, please don't start what you can't finish. Don't. Oh, Sister Santuani, how are you doing? I know it's okay. You don't have to be here all the time. As long as you keep up with what is happening and you watch the videos when you can, I have no issues with you. Auntie Yase, smacks of desperation. Asem no. Asem no. No. And, you know, the people that have had these conversations with us have said, people that are of my age and slightly older, late 30s, early 40s, early 40s, 41, 42, 43, 45. Ufri say, what be bottom of the pile as oba? And if you don't diminish those high standards you have, he has to have a job. He has to do this. Now, and you be single for the rest of your life. Sister, because the stories that I'm hearing, that the advantage now, and money be taking or man so no, it's becoming unbecoming, very ridiculous. And I'm not saying this to say that it is only men who are taking advantage of women. There are women who are equally doing the same thing. Terrible. But the first question that you need to ask yourself and say, am I supporting this guy because genuinely, he's working hard, he's trying his level best. It's just that something, the odds are just stuck up against him at this particular time. And but he's going to be an active participant or relationship with him. Or are you just enabling people to take advantage of you in the name of so-called love? Because, if you read and you define love, love does not hurt. It doesn't do anything to the other person. Enti bema ni tifie no a wahye pajamas from morning to evening. Now de wo ko baye adwumaden no. Enti nipa no se no kure ni nyame anim, if he really truly loves and cares about you, does he not have any feeling? Say, oh, sister, yeah, she goes out and she's so tired, she works so hard. Enti mame nsusume nso ni mu wo baabi bi. Se ne ebe ya eniema ebetimi aye mre ede amante ya na. I mean, like I'm saying, when you're caught up in the relationship, though, it is very difficult for you to sit down and take stock and look at how a niamanisi kofa to realize that, Papa, yes, what take advantage you, and because you're so caught up in the whole thing, why you're so comfortable, person 10 times what to me, when you Enti wunhunu ne say yesisie ne kwaseburo na sebio nipa no what dish it out to you. And some people are so crafty about the way that they do it. As en Tatiana waka na no ase hu mframa wo so. Those kinds of men. Enema say ye hunu wo ya asase so. Nkeka ne yen ya yete ama no ne no. Abrabo na nye easy sa o. The life here is hard. Those of you who have had the opportunity to travel abroad and see how anipa ye bre esifano and ye easy sir. Se wonam anaju de suoma himachi wonam snow ni winter mu -35 -40 kwa adwuma. Na who kani wonipa ufri se wo dono no wa hye long john no da ho. Baby position now no he is not or she is not an active participant in the relationship. And the question that I have for us this afternoon is are we supportive partners? Say truly no enipa no ho na akire no e na pesa obua no na obua no mani gina ne naso ana sede se bema na sede se ba no obeye. And now say, are we really funding and fueling this enabling behavior? No, as I say, creeping into your society. Kwasi abone wo our relationships, it's becoming unbecoming. A lot of men and women are being taken undue advantage of just because of the fact to say, wakumemuye. You have a good heart, you have a clean heart, you're supportive, you're caring. And obi etimi ehunu say sister or no nko a why lonely enti because me ne kwatena nam say metimi wo me ne bed na me say bio me ye aduane me ye say man enti no wo begime Sister Aisha says, Sika Antonio, this is the definition of love that I don't totally agree. A willingness to prioritize another's well-being or happiness above your own. I say, This is kwasiado. This is not love. The Bible even says, love your neighbor as your own self. Enti wudo bi esne wankasa ho a why boni? Wetie nyame ankasa no nasem. How can you love somebody else obi fufuro obi hunu bi more than wudo senya wankasa wudo wankasa wo hufa? And it is this behavior that is fueling, enabling partners that we all have in our relationships. A lot of us have in our relationships without even realizing. Akofa papa bi. Papa pe ni mu bi abeto ho so because why you lonely? Unkwa na oho. And na we feel se we share obi. Sister Asantua say I don't agree as well. Not at all. Eyo kwasiado. Kwasiado. And I man bi no. Yet to why dodo because you're in your 40s now. You think that you have to lower and limit your standards because untimi nya chinchine ewo wo mra wa hihye de ama wo. My sister, it is not easy to a friend is saying, so benyen obi. That is the perfect word I have to use in this instance. Because papa penimua, said you were in the 40s, were in the 50s, you expect that if really any pano pebra abrabo or pebra pabo, what the near to form, and the near maybe a gugu aquemua, a bema, at that age of 50, no, yes, I'm not sure. But at least any panel mindset and any actions be proved to you. Say, na or yeah, what the nyame gugu form and the nyame gugu kwemu send ye beya abrabon besisa na ye papa diamani pako. But if you're dating somebody who is in his 50s and the person feels that, well, I'm almost at the age of retirement anyway, why should I have to exert myself? After all, you are the younger person. You have more energy and you have more opportunity to work into. But when it comes to money, any panel contribute financial sister. I have seen women who or ne partner no they would obeka so with your bomb busia verse 2,000 pounds give me 2,000 pounds as a loan na me fanye nya me de be ma no agi 2,000 agi 5,000 was here a loan or the be ma 5 years come to pass and that 5,000 won fa be ma down fa mu kapre and fa ma back that. And the worst part they say, obe fede sika na wo tam sika bumu a wo de amani kakro no. We in the 50, no 100, no na sika no mu nyina ye basa anti after 10 years no. Sika no mu nyina ye basa kranti. You have no way of a friend is saying recognizing and answer being able to quantify how much money you got back from that loan. 5,000 what they call two investments be more and 5 years later no be as 5,000 what's in your home and this is what is going on. I am not saying that older women or older guys cannot, I mean, there aren't people that can love people like that. That is not what I'm saying. But obi ebehewodo ene wadwumaden a woye ene wo kwase a woye sebi mpreduasa na no de aye ne plan de abetena wo nche no aba benum a edin is very painful, very, very painful. And worse still, no, some women would live with a certain guy for whatever reason. Na wo hwe no wo siesie no ho wo tatade hye no wo na wo feedi no wo na wo ma ne dan dem so me a woda so nyina wo dia, and then the person will still be cheating on you. Ay, that is even worse. And no it is any de pia awo wo kuma mu ne twisty pia. That is how that feels. The greatest betrayal of all. Wo wakofo obi ba o papa panimu a woni kapre. Now would na betena wo ho so a wo hwe no na nipa no wode na de no ebodo nkomi wa abontene wanya wo so younger model enti wo wodi usika ehwe no na wo boa no na wo support the person we ye nipa pa bi ma na busua ne mu ankasa masetena no na o de sido nkomi wa abontene. That is the worst of the worst part of this whole thing. This Aisha Srimi. Until you say practical love, tips, Love yourself first. So important. 2, what will you accept or not accept in a relationship? 3, you must be clear about this. And 3, no, number 4, no, do not settle. Do not settle. Wonim say adeɛ wei, I can't take it. Na ɛnam sɛ wayɛ desperate a wofiri sɛ when you're 40, when you're 45, ɛsɛ sɛ wonya bɛrima bi ka ho nti no, you take just anything bottom of the pile no a sister girl. Ɛyɛ brɛ ne ahokyerɛ ɛna akɔfa de to ho so. I am telling you, take it from somebody who has had practical experience of asɛm a meka kyerɛ we. And you know, another thing that we women don't recognize and they say, Papa penimu deɛ, who expects to say Papa penimu at ne Papa penimu a wayɛ no? The person should at least have certain things in place. The pension fund, health insurance, life insurance, and nneɛma bi a ɛbɛma sɛ ahokyerɛ bi ba anaasɛ pɛm sɛ yareɛ bi ba. Unfortunately, nipa no one may sudie ne burden bi ameda so, but the truth of the matter is that a lot of these people that we are enabling, omuni tro ɛwɔ ɔmo ho kapre ebi ni hɔ. And it all stems from bad living at the times when our more prime mu a betimi e de nneɛma papa bi agu akwan mu no wɔn anye. And some of these people are lying about just thinking that ekra ma wo nkwala miensa enum bi da baabi enti daakye bi kra no me ni hwe kra me ba no beba abehwe me. Go and ask my mother. Ne ma no obi anya baabi agina, but no kwane e wa asem ni mu nyina ne say as individuals no ubetua wo dan ka bewie, ubetua wo mortgage bewie, ubehwa wo ma bewie, ebeye ne sese wo ye bia bewie no. E ma no ankasa no wo mo ho kire wo mu. They can't even fend for themselves fully yet. Enti da ben and wo ba behwe ne ho awie. Na bia ka ma na kase ma agifa ko hospital, ma agifa petrol gu ka mu, ma agifa didi. Because enipa no ne ho kire no. Ne ho kire no. I still have sisters, younger sisters in their 20s, and then the last one when you're 30 years. But for the longest time, you know, even when we school, no, assess one year, Juma, they're earning, supposedly earning good money, you know, they were still going back to parents for handouts and help here and there. And so mommy who are her marry, papas who are her marry, and to say in me baby her and yet disappointment to see a pan in tinken conform ye no way, or more share ama wo. Sister Aisha say, thank you, Lord, that marriage will not take us to heaven. I tell you, my darling. Auntie, I say, self-respect is so important. No need to put up with this kind of disrespect. Me not make catch it out, but people are putting up with it. People are putting up with this nonsense because we'll free say, you know, why desperate? Why won't be intino? It's a sort of fanbisa relationship. It's what a lot of us have put ourselves into. And then nipa so fire so de nyankamade edi yen. Abusia, I know said this is a drive-by video, but the conversation that I had with Alex last night and this morning is why I'm recording this video. Say, enya me nkwa na me fasa atibia we mu ena enya madam for Alex nkwa so no wa fasa atibia we mu a ene we're having this conversation. It is something that happens, and we women, we need to shine our eyes and know what the telltale signs are. I think a lot of it also has to do with how one kasano you see yourself. You know, sometimes when we feel so bad and so low of self-esteem, no, and only a coffee fast be way better to your muscle. The person that is coming into your life, look, relationship, a partnership, na mo come boom. Na my year dia boom. And see if the person is not adding value to you. That's a debia or TB free. Any addition, any multiplication, any subtraction, any division, as sister dream home. If the person coming into your life is coming to subtract and divide from you, and not add and multiply, sister. It's so nyashwe. Because I mean, as Obano, we do 40s with 30s, late 30s, 40s moon. As I say, one kasam, we started dream say, me and Kasana me wo me co pension and then me di. And here no metna. Where is my life insurance? Where is my health insurance? It is a wo kwakofo will be baby abetna won chan no one person will be active participant and not just a wono to say as I would dream wo pension. Now dream papa no so dear ho. Udrin yamumienu mu bedie ho. Now udrin yamudi. I mean, you have to be a way be necessary and double. Imagine so why you juma in England 30 years, 40 years, say what retirement would tiffy as a 60-year-old woman. See you can't state pension. That's a won't conquer a full be our baby a state pension in England, they are saying. £90 a week, £100 a week. With the infant sending you now cry £600 a month to Kranwa. How can you survive on £600 a month? Oh, England. A dear now be electric and gas bill. No, a saying, ensure you're saying. We hear internet, we hear mobile phone. You need to be in touch with the world. So, I'm your bills. Who's who pension? A dear now will be. It is a bearman in Pedjumayan was Sifina, a Juma away and this will cow Pemushiana and its yellow. Say, Yari be back, why never her wine? And that is why I've seen a lot of older people facing stark poverty our Western countries because of some of these things. Because a Nipana and its and one year plan be a man. Say, Kaya no corner, why a plan a man who. He has a retirement policy for himself. He has his own health insurance. He has his own life insurance. At least one mefebi mekawodi he's looking after himself. He's self-sufficient. But yen pepi no ye kwa bontin no ye kohwe ne ye hunu no wani so no nko a ne ya tam de abafi. Carry come house ne de abetena yen nchen ne yeso. Ne akofa asudie ne adesoa e de aba abetena yeso. Ebusia, when we're dating, when we're going out with somebody, this is somebody you want to spend a lifetime with in a committed relationship. No, man, we don't like to, we shy away from any conversations that are difficult. We don't want to talk about money. And yes, I bear to say, Tanana minute, Tanani Nano, a Nisika binti sister, I Nisika antina person in it. I can't be because Mubedidi. Would they if anything, I love you, cause superstore ne Tesco, any Walmart no. I haven't yet seen anybody giving you a loaf of bread. Me nyanhui, e be a siwa baby, will be can't me, but me dear, me farm and fearing kojina baby, me yanka say, oh, you love this guy so much. Here you go, here's a loaf of bread. Me who be that? And I don't think I'm ever gonna see that. Me auntie be or say, I love you, je t'aime, no. And yet, your friend is saying Tesco voucher, and yet Superstore voucher, store card. Yeah, obey to me, the akoto bibi no the tiaka. And so, that being said, as I said, one kasana who show who now be sound who say, any pay will take advantage and also, or then. You have to ask yourself these questions. And I know, say, you don't really feel like talking about some of these things. But here, once you decide and define say relationship, baby dear, and there's a conversation in now, so you didn't home come. I can't believe that in 2021, a man may be to meet now. No, na it was unplanned. What do you mean by it was unplanned? Who call free or no now if you said the NBC? Would you are dating and you're intimately involved with somebody and he's in that age of still being able to reproduce? What were you expecting, say, BC? You cannot say, oh, a mistake. It didn't take. I mean, when you're doing things, you just have to be aware, say actions have consequences. Inti wo kono akoro ho amokoye no raw no, you should know say raw no e chira sem wo ho. This is some of the potential and enema a bit me see. You know, I love Abrofo so much in some of their ways because obroni meka nchira say a mistake. One boyfriend, one mutina no omo fifi o mano no omo ye ni omo ye ni na plan da bibia ho. They've decided, they said, okay, and na ye this case ye mfie mienu echi se ne atoye dan. Ye toye dan wi a ye be ware. Ye ware wi a ye be wo ma mienu. Enti ma mienu no ba. Finish. 2 children. That is what they think they can afford. Enti that is what they're having. But it is all reaction. There's no proactiveness to think about what it is that you want beforehand. Now, if what's now mistaken, so-called mistakeness. Now, if you're panicking, who panic then? Ebusia, this conversation that I had with my friend today is the highlight of my day. I realized that it is something that happens to ye mubi beble. Especially mami kahumbi. Especially susunua. We are fiercely loyal. We are very loving, accommodating. Upesa support you, bia. Upesa buano, and you see the best in everybody. Unsuboni and miniboni mo bia dafon yenum bisan. Yes, we are the ones that are taking the most advantage out of. Because anybody ade any di no kra no one dream ma who so say this person is taking the mickey. This person is taking advantage of me. This person is abusing me. Oh, I ne ho na achire no. Osisi ka bia ni ho. Osi o yi corona ba ye. Onya dwuma bia anye. Enti eja ma memfa ne saa. Really? Because I know people are professors, doctors. Me who be wa krom ha say. I've seen people who have doctorate degrees. Uber. Why? Because the yire ne mana oni omotie no be ma ne hunu ne say eye na sedie so provide for ne busia. Enti ode ne doctorate ne professor nyina hye ne botom edi twi Uber. Enimonyam wom esne so obeka ne nsa hye ne nsa yem no waka kire ne yire say hwi ni ho a omobedie. Yes, equally. I've seen women who are highly qualified in so. Where Juma was pastor 20 hours a week. Enya busome no so a ono so the $500, $600, $800,000 bebe fia ye de be cater for groceries, and that is how relationships should be. Hang go, hang come. They say, maybe we honor Debia we you are done noa, Debia medasi noa, Debia akbekaka, Debia medasi noa, woman faka premfanka relationship ni muda. That is what I am seeing. One of the Debia waji, Mr. Oji. Debia one yon fama ubi emma wonso nkasa oda na seda. Debia one ne da wase sister mo ani na ho. Brother mo ani na ho. Relationships are supposed to be a partnership. We now we so na more balance. Oh, okay. Mommy nyina ye ntu susu so fa you save 10,000, also save we near fanya deposit, near fanya sa de we. That is how relationship necessary communion. Ekoye fa akon. Ai we na beye me de metena fie no a. Ene ne edidi wa kan anu tum ne mfani. In summary, the last thing that I want to say to us, because I've got 10 minutes and I've got to be in class, and they say, we women need to open our eyes. Auntie Yaka, Sister Santuaka, Sister Aisha, one more can say, you've got to open your eyes and realize, smell the coffee, say, any pay. Okay, watch the when Mama $100, Mama £200, Mama 500. At the end of the day, what are you doing? What steps are you taking to better your lot? What are you doing? And many be so omo ho no a omo pese de bia ma na hwe wo mu no so omo san wa standard so omo dwe omo dwe they have standard and so can abrabo ho oh me ntimi nye cleaning me ntimi nkoye bam wipe bia me ntimi nye adwuma wo shop mu me ntimi nye we age se adwuma we nko ana me pe. I want to be a teacher. I want to be an Uber driver. I want just a drama way and your way dear. Have you ever seen a beggar with a choice? One who beggar or what choice? I would much rather have somebody who cleans, at least a dignified sika. And yes, wakoye no koye toto by mistake biana or this cannabefie. A juma a buoni nidie a wo home. And or this cannabefie. I much rather have that than somebody who is a couch potato. Or sorry, I know that couch and a juma away or that. That is all he does. Yeah, Manuel, we're breeding these enabling partners. So we need to take responsibility for our actions because that is what efueli akwadro and in kwasiebu. Me ma say kwasiebu de opa na edi buwo. No krepa na me ka kire. Giving him should not be a routine, my dear. Asem no na sister Santoeka. Sister Aisha there was srimia, but many percent na making because it's just very disheartening for some of us to not even recognize any place no me until you take a step back and then you realize any pay me say you know it's it's about time that we wisen up. And remember, it's about time you wisen up too. So we really see ho, let's say one person will be active participant, be capable be a and your man in because otherwise, a nipa baako, how much can one person accomplish? But some mummy and no come with tilbo, yes, a prayer wo we baako a buse and so ye kabom we mu kabom rien kunindie. You know, and see if you're living in a relationship that is toxic and abusive, financial abuse, this is what this is. Financial abuse. Then nipano or person will take advantage of the fact to say we ni papa wakuma ye uwa badaye ne tima. Then nunti one person will be shiyama ne hu dia sister mo ani na ho. Anko siebu wo hoi. Hey ya papa. Very painful. Does the person have the same dreams, hopes, ambitions, and expectations out of life as you do? Because a whole person will call wali. That's any panel so a poano no person what's na. You can't end me ye is what I'm saying. Into sister, when in naho. Brother, when in naho. And ask yourself these hard questions. And so now do who akoshishe bibia yemfa ye hu koshishe mu na fe epie na abepie free mu nsoso no abeye sudie kese de amawo. What are your dreams? What are the things that you want to accomplish in your life? Enipa no a woni na etina no sa dream not yase. Does he buy into sawade na person we no? Is he prepared to support you to achieve those dreams and even better ones? These are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves. Because we are a young girl and a smaller model. Now kofa papa penimu. And now we are papa penimu now kofa small girl via no. So we benya Louis Vuitton or drink one. Yeah, na brabo nedi. We are younger girls so now kofa papa penimu or no wabon brewie when ni capra or no so not drinking san country and say look at Jumadine necessary yen say send your bay a retirement no a benya bibia dienua. And you're not brave adwuma and na wo ye no ipa na on net na ne sika sem to say how does he handle money? What does he do with it? Nyina ne ho hia enti abusuafo drive by sister Santua say all in the name of love apu eye bufu ankasa nkwasi asem o kwasi ebuo to the nonsense degree and ayen man no yetena ho me edidi ye uhunu ne ntem se ne ame mekua me hunu ye ya me twe me hu ya na ne nyame na aboa wo base wanko hunu ne ntem na atena ho na me edidiu na fe wonso wadu mmre wabom no ni kapre kra for one kasa ho na pem so when ya bi dia hwe no nso so dia ene na sister wala mema ya ni na ho na kwasiebu wo hoi ya. If I've said something that has resonated with you, please follow this page. Ebi nso wɔ YouTube, subscribe to this channel. Mesrɛ mo, mo anam bɛboa me ama adeɛ nyinaa yɛ kama, ɛde ama yɛ nyinaa. Ɛno yɛ di kan. Number 2, share this video on your personal profile page. No obi nso so menya mo ababi mfa. No mfa nto ne kotodwe mu mfa nye ne ho aduru. Because I can say all these things, but if I'm not able to reach as many people from me and kasame honwa, that's a kasa no me yedede mabetena ha na metia obi ani ho a wotie enti me mesrew sabua me ne propagate message na enko baabia bi na obi anso enti me nya mu bi friend say adesua bi ne sua hunu bi no emfa mo ne bra no emfa nko animu. Thank you guys so much for being here, for listening, for participating, for contributing, for commenting. Auntie for that, God bless you. Sister Santuanya Minshra Regina, Auntie Aisha. Just say, God bless all of you guys. Sandra, Munina, Wonyami, Wonshre Obibia, Akumaswe Bisadie Bia Moana, Nawachi Mulonyami. Today is Tuesday. Wonyami Wonyani, Nano Shre. I hope that I'll see you guys again tomorrow around the same sort of time. I love you. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching and stay tuned. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Sika educate, yeah, what Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Sika educate, yeah, Kasapa, Abumde, our real name, Sika educate, or don't come up, run, yeah, who are true. Sika educate, Punyani, baby, Sika educate. Ain't like you page, you know, I am vibe. But more than YouTube, ho, subscribe it. Sika educate is the name. All our man them so steady come for inspiration, motivation, modern education. For Canada, when it's here, or don't come or Ekusika deba. For Canada, Bema Jai, or don't come or Ekusika deba. Sika educate, yeah, what Facebook, YouTube, and Insta. Sika educate, yeah, Kasapa, Abumde, our real name,